So what is workflow really? Workflow is all about making sure that your office is functioning at its peak efficiency. And that means taking a look at a very old problem. The problem of task management, which means should we memory manage or should we have a way to actually automatically know what we're supposed to be doing in a day? Well, that's where our system comes in. In every other system out there today, when you want to know what work has to get done, generally you have to run a report. That report then has to be reviewed. That reviewed report then has to be enumerated. You have to have tasks that come out of that review. And those tasks need to be assigned to individuals, assigned priorities, assigned completion dates, and then you need to make sure that you actually follow up on those tasks and make sure that they got done. A lot of the time, what we've heard from practices that transition over to us are things like, you know, I told Jane up at the front desk to take care of this, but I haven't heard from my patient Joe in a little bit. So I wonder what's going on with him. Well, that's where task management comes in. Basically, the way it works is, anytime something happens in your practice, it's tracked, and that means that it's put into a report. But simultaneously, our system is going to go ahead and say, is this task worthy? Is this something that either we've understood needs to be task managed, or is something that you've told us needs to automatically be task managed? And so what our system will do is it'll automatically take that issue and generate a task. And when it generates that task, that verbiage will be specific to that situation. So either a specific patient, a specific date of service, a specific inventory item in your office, whatever it is. And so what we'll actually do in that situation is generate the task and assign it to an individual. And so what will happen is that individual will get a task on what we call a workbench. And that task will have the details of what needs to get done, the patient's account directly attached to the task, any claims related to the issue that you're dealing with, whether it's a patient responsibility or an insurance claim. And then it'll actually have details relating to how important the task is. So it'll have a priority. It'll have an initial start date, just in case it's something that they may not need to start right away, but you need them to start tomorrow or the next day, or even 3 months from now. And then it'll also have a completion date. And that completion date will say, in this situation, this task is due by this date and this time. And if this task isn't completed by that date and that time, we're going to go ahead and automatically say that that task is overdue. And so in that situation, you're not having to worry about whether something got done, whether it got done on time, or whether it got done correctly. Because as soon as a task is completed, that task will actually have to go to someone to review. And so that person generally, if you're working in the front office, will be your office manager. And if you have an office with multiple layers of management, like a lot of our practices do, you'll have that hierarchy where those tasks will automatically be assigned to the correct department with the correct oversight. And this way, you have that connection. Most of our practices today need the added connection, of course, of the practice success coach on our side who works with the owner, generally the clinician who runs the practice, and determines who has to do what underneath them, but would really benefit from someone helping them stay accountable to what they're supposed to do. And that includes things like unsigned notes, unbilled visits, or even tasks that the doctor wants to take care of themselves. So what we'll do is, in the sequence of emails that we're going to have come out to you guys in workflow, we're going to talk about just how our system approaches these issues individually in specific instances in offices. And we're going to give you opportunities to go ahead and say, that's a situation that I've come across and this is how workflow is going to change the way I practice forever. And so anytime you're going through these, you have questions, reach out to us, myself, our practice success coaches. We're always ready to talk to you guys. We're always excited to talk to you guys, and we can't wait to show you just how your practice can benefit from workflow.